Baleen, you have to decide what your priorities are.
Up next from Facebook, we have Baleen, and she says, I'm an entrepreneur, but I can't make my new business full-time yet. So she's hopeful. Great. She balances a full-time job, and she's a new mom. How do I know how much time to set aside for my business while juggling all three? I know you got this. I've heard it. Go for it.
I think you've got it too. That would be my suspicion. For you, Baleen, you have to decide what your priorities are. And if you're a very new mom, maybe you haven't discovered it yet, but your kids are in charge. Your new baby's in charge. So you can't decide how much time to give that child. No, the child's going to decide. Next comes your day job. That's number 2, your day job. And why is that number 2? What comes very next is because it pays your expenses. And so you can't give up the day job, or you wouldn't be asking about it in the first place. And then third, in last position, like the horse that comes in last, is your new company. You cannot possibly succeed with any new business as a third priority. It just doesn't work that way. So the only thing I could truly suggest to you is find yourself a partner. Find yourself a partner who is also pressured for their time, perhaps another new mom, and combine forces. And before choosing that partner, you should really make a list of what you're really good at and what you don't like to do or what you're not so good at. And then look for a partner who has the list that you don't have. And then together, the 1 and 1 can equal 3 or maybe even 4. But you have to keep your priorities straight, and you're not in charge like you think you are now that you're a mom, really.
And I love that list element. We've talked about this so many times, Barbara, but it's so important. You have to be so honest. When you write a list like that, a life list, as I've done many times, as you have done, you have to be brutally honest. You're not making a list to show a friend or to get people to like you. You're making a list for yourself. Keep it real, right?
And if it's real, it becomes your love letter, truly, over the long haul.
Hi, Michael. Welcome. I cannot tell you how much I trust this human. She is just fantastic. So have at it. It is now your show, Michael. What would you like to know?
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Barbara. I'm a huge fan of you both, and thank you for this opportunity. Barbara, I'm a realtor in New Jersey, and the market is wild right now. I work with a lot of investors, and I'm an investor myself. So I wanted to ask you a 2-part question. First off, during this challenging pandemic, do you think it's a good opportunity for people to invest in long-term rental properties as like a landlord-tenant situation, or short-term fix and flip opportunities? And the second part of the question is, it's a very competitive seller's market here in New Jersey. So what can buyers do in order to stand out and edge out the competition?
Well, both very good questions, and probably the same question that almost everybody out there buying a house is sort of asking themselves right now. Number one, it's a terrible time to flip houses unless you have a secret formula. The time to flip houses when you could buy something on the cheap. And right now, 60% of every house sold in New Jersey, as well as everywhere else, is going into a bidding war. So you're not going to buy anything on the cheap. Forget that. It's much smarter to buy, to rent, and to hold probably for 3 to 5 years, because you will definitely make money. It's the right way to go. But you need to know your numbers. I'm sure as a professional real estate person, you're walking in and you already know what the house is going to sell for before you walk in. You know what the improvement cost is going to be, and you better be really clear on your numbers because those are going through the roof. And you'll also know, hopefully, clearly what you're going to get in rent. Any of those 3 numbers are wrong, you don't make any money. It's a tough market. But if you're careful with those 3, you can make a lot of money. And then your second part of your question is, how do I stand apart from the competition or the crowd? What I think is the most powerful tool you could have as a buyer is to say you're an all-cash buyer, no contingencies. So waiving contingencies, going in with a pre-qualification from a bank or a mortgage broker with the financing already approved. You could say, I'm an all-cash buyer. There are no contingencies here. That gives you power. And last, in addition to that, you have to go in and not be afraid to bid high and overpay. Now, most people feel ashamed of overpaying. I don't. I've overpaid for every great piece of real estate I've ever bought, and I've still made money as long as I've held it in the long term. So don't be afraid to overpay. It's that kind of a market.
Thank you so much. That was great advice, and I'm definitely going to relay that over to my buyers. I really appreciate it.